Yo, you're watching Shurko, and today I'm going to be showing you the best control setup for Pokemon Unite. I'm going to be going through all the control options. I'll be breaking down all of them. I will also showcase them in a practice mode on all kinds of different Pokemon, and I will be telling you what, in my opinion, is going to be the best one out of all the options. There's some really important ones that you should really enable, and I really hope this will help you. So let's get right into it. We're gonna go to Pokemon here. This is also a very good little tip. You can test out all the Pokemon before you decide to purchase them to see if you like them, you know, in a practice area. But in this video, I'm going to be, of course, using it to showcase some very important options. Now, we're going to be picking Zeraora because, of course, this Pokemon has so much mobility, and one of the most important options for these type of mobility moves is going to be very well showcased with this one. So we are loading in here. And again, you can do this for every single Pokemon. So if you're not sure whether you should buy some of them, you can just hop in here. You don't even have to farm, you know, you could just farm playing against the bot, but you don't even have to. You can just press the settings here, practice options, and you can just level up just like that. You can turn off all your cooldowns, but I'll leave them enabled. And yeah, we can pick the abilities, and the most important is going to be Spark here. So let's get into the settings here. Now, as you can see here, system settings, you know, you can change whatever you want here. You can play on lower frame rate if you want, but honestly, for those, nothing really too important here. But here is the very important stuff. So let's get right into it. Opponent lock-on priority. Now, what does that mean? As you can see, this, if you, for example, enable closest here, whenever you're using your basic attack or any of the moves, it will try to attack the closest Pokemon to you, the closest enemy. I just leave it on lowest remaining HP value. If you play only melee Pokemon, then you might want to pick the closest one. Other than that, if you play a lot of ranged, you definitely want to leave it on lowest remaining HP. You can also put it on lowest remaining HP percent. However, then you will oftentimes be attacking tanks when they are at a low amount of health, but you might still want to attack the enemy squishy Pokemon, you know, the damage dealer, because sometimes they will have a higher amount of HP percent while still having lower total HP, so you still might want to focus them because, again, they're the priority targets, they're the threats, they're the damage dealers, while the tank, you know, you can leave them alive to clean up afterwards. Now, this is going to be the first one that is really important, okay? Attack controls. The default one is this. As you can see, attacks nearby opposing Pokemon with the A key. But I would really highly recommend you to enable this one. I think this is probably the most important one out of this whole list. Advanced attack controls. So here, attacks nearby opposing Pokemon on the A key, just like before, but now you also have the option of focusing these wild Pokemon with the B key. So basically what that does is now, again, I can showcase it here. So this is, I think, gonna be, yeah, see? So this target dummy here acts as if it's a enemy Pokemon, like an enemy player, okay? That is what this is for, so you can test your damage, you can see the data there. But if I press the B key right now, it will attack this guy. But if I press the A key, it starts attacking this guy. Usually, if you don't have that option enabled, you would not be able to focus the wild Pokemon. Why is that really important? Well, because of course, the Wespy Queen camp in the middle, or if you're farming other camps as well and an enemy Pokemon is nearby, usually if the camp is low, you want to try to last hit it to, of course, get that experience, get those Pokeballs. And especially when you're fighting for the Zapdos in the middle, you really want to make sure that you can finish it with that last basic attack before an enemy player steals it away from your team, okay? So this option is really important. I cannot stress that enough. Oops, we pressed the wrong thing. Let's get right back into the settings here. So definitely enable advanced controls. Now, automatic basic attacks, you can turn this off if you want. it's on by default. It doesn't really matter because most people are mashing their buttons anyway. What that does is if you do one basic attack onto the enemy, as you can see here, and now I don't touch anything and he just keeps auto attacking. But let's be real, we're gonna just mash that button anyway. So that option doesn't really matter. Now let's keep going here. Boosted attack gauge. I think this is pretty useful. I really like it because as you can see, every third basic attack is boosted, or Zeraora, for example, or a lot of other Pokemon as well. So see how under my health bar, I have this little indicator that shows me when I have that. So I think this is pretty useful. I leave it enabled, but you can just count it in your head. Not too important. Lock-on icon, you can enable this. As you can see, there is going to be some lock-ons, so you can pick in team fights where there's lots of Pokemon nearby, which Pokemon to attack. This is probably the best option, but I feel like it clutters the screen. I never play with this option in any of my mobile MOBA games, so I'm not a fan of this. I just like to position to attack the right target that I'm trying to attack, but this is the highest skill cap. You know, if you want to, I think for me it's more of a bother than it actually helps, but for a lot of people, a lot of pro players in other mobile MOBAs, which of course this is going to be a mobile MOBA, that's why I'm referencing that, they use that very frequently. Now, moving on, in motion pursuit distance. This basically means if you have this on standard, which is the basic, when you're walking, you know, I'm walking away and I press the auto attack button, it will try to attack the nearest Pokemon, right? And if you have that on melee, it's just gonna lower that range where you would actually see where he's doing this little hiccup while I'm walking away. You can test that, you know, you can. This is up to preference in my opinion. I leave it on standard. I really like it when I really like this to kite. I think it's really good for ranged characters to kite because you can move away and still keep spamming that auto attack button. They will keep weaving in those basic attacks onto the enemy Pokemon while running away. So I think this is good. In motion pursuit mode is pretty much a similar thing. If you turn this off, even while I'm mashing the button like I am right here, it's not gonna run to them. A lot of people prefer this option actually. I don't. I like to leave it on. This is the default. So try to turn it off for maybe 1 or 2 games. See if you like it more. A lot of beginners to these kind of games actually really like it off. Again, I'm a mobile MOBA veteran. I played these games a lot. And back in the days, this option didn't exist in other mobile MOBAs. So I'm just used to it being on. Again, I really like it for kiting. It's really hard to kite without this because you have to let go of the joystick to do an auto attack, which I am not a fan of. But again, try it out, up to preference. Scoring controls, hold down the button, hold down the X button to score, to dunk the balls onto the hoop, or you can just do it, have it on press button. Of course, the default is hold button down. You probably noticed that you have to hold it down unless you have Zapdos buff. I just leave it on. I like it. I like holding it down. It's the controller is vibrating. It just feels epic, you know. That sounded a little bit wrong. Don't worry about it, okay? Hey, don't worry about it. Anyway, camera follows moves. This is by default off. You can turn it on. If you turn it on, basically what it says, you know, if you have a very long range move, the camera will follow that move, so you can actually see where you're aiming it. I never like this. It gives me dizziness, you know, because the camera keeps moving all over the screen. But again, up to preference. Try this out. A lot of new mobile MOBA players really like this option. Again, one of those options that wasn't in the game back in the days, so I'm not a fan. Move aim follows movement. Now this is by default off. I think this is the second most important thing. If you like it, you should try it out. I love it. I think it makes the game much more fun, much more, your mechanics become much quicker. So let me showcase what this means, okay? Usually, especially this spark ability, usually I'm aiming it with the right joystick, right? But if you have this option enabled, it follows your movement direction. So what you can do is just use it super quick. See, I'm just tapping it and I can just use it super quick into that direction without actually having my thumb on the right joystick, which means that I can also cancel it because I can have my thumb on the B button, but also it means that you can just do it so fast, you know, like it's so insanely quick. It makes all the dashing movements like this. The eject button as well, as you can see, I can just instantly eject out and I can just go in a triangle and stuff super quickly. You can do the same with the right joystick as well, but try it out. It's really, really good. I'm so glad this option is in the game. Yeah. Move aim snaps to nearby targets. I have this off. It is on by default, but I don't think I tried it out. It didn't really change that much. It's kind of a weird option. Again, up to your preference. Now, other than that, move learning controls, this is very self-explanatory. Single button is default. I think you should leave it on that. And yeah, we're almost at the end. And for the end, I'll actually have to switch to a different Pokemon. This is just camera sensitivity. This is how fast you're gonna move around if you're trying to, you know, shift the camera like that with while holding down L and using the joystick. I cranked it up to the middle. It was very low at the start. I wasn't able to move to the other side of the map quickly enough when I'm trying to check out how my teammates are doing up in that top lane, for example, when I'm laning bot. I think this is really important for general map awareness, so I really recommend you to crank that setting up to the middle. But yeah, now there's one last really important option here, and for that I actually have to switch to a different Pokemon because it's gonna mainly affect AoE abilities, okay? So for that we're gonna switch to Cramorant here, and again, practice area. You can do this for every Pokemon, even if you don't own them. As you can see, I don't own Charizard, I don't own Gengar, I don't own Wigglytuff, Mr. Mime, I don't own any of these. So yeah, you can just test them out before you purchase them, which is really cool, I think. But yeah, let me show you this. This is so important. It really makes or breaks the game as well a little bit. And again, I think it will be a little bit up to preference. Because if you're just a casual player, you might want to leave the setting on. But if you are trying to really propel your gameplay to the next level, then I really think you should turn it off as soon as possible. Let me show you. So we skill the Whirlpool. Now, let me show you with the double APOM camp here, which is right here. So I have the setting off. You can see how I can normally aim this, right? I can hit both. That's the most important thing. I want to hit both here, right? When the enemy is in team fights, you want to hit multiple enemies with these AoE abilities, if you can, right? So I have this off. And what is the setting? I'm kind of leaving you in suspense here, but let me show you. So controls, and we go all the way down, and it is the aim assistance setting, okay? One we skipped was minimap position, but this is up to preference. Some of the League of Legends players will probably like it in the bottom right because that's where it usually is, but the mobile MOBA players will like it in the top left because that's where it usually is for these games. So I leave it on default, which is top left. Now, aim assistance. I have aim assistance off. If you turn it on, smart aim assistance for example, oh my goodness, now watch this. Watch what my Whirlpool does. Look, I move it a little bit. See how it's like, it snaps onto the targets. I can't hit both, you see? Like it snaps onto them. I try to, see? I can't move it freely. It just snaps onto them. Now again, if you're a casual player, this is good for you. Because you will always like, let's say there's an enemy here, but you want to hit these guys here. You can just aim to the right, you know, and it will just snap onto one enemy that you're probably trying to aim at. So it is not like a terrible setting. It definitely has its place, again, if you're a casual player. But if you're trying to hit both, this is just gonna be so wacky, right? Look, but see, if he's moving, it also just keeps snapping onto him, which is, again, good for casual players. But if you want to level up your gameplay, you definitely want to turn this off completely. You can also change it individually. I didn't play around with this because honestly, I'm used to aiming these abilities. I've never seen something like an aim assistant in these games. Again, it's not a bad thing. I'm not flaming it. But look at this, man. It will probably... Look, I can just freely hit them. But if I had it enabled, it would go out of whack, especially on this camp, right? Look at this. Like, I mean, you can choose on which one you want to aim it at, but it's just wiggling around. Not a fan of that. So yeah, this is pretty much gonna be it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I really hope this helped you. Let me know any feedback if you found out anything else about these settings that I might want to incorporate in my gameplay as well. With that being said, let me know if it helped you in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe, ring the notification bell to not miss any further Pokemon Unite videos on this channel. And trust me, there will be lots of them. There will be lots of guides on different Pokemon and stuff. And yeah, if you have nothing to say, leave an algorithmic comment because it pushes the video in the YouTube algorithm and gets me more views. With that being said, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.